Welcome to the Frugal Rolls YouTube channel. I'm Nicole.
And I'm John, and we're glad you're here. Thank you for spending some of your day with us. If you're not part of our community yet, hit that red subscribe button to join. It's free and you'll never miss an episode. If you're losing sleep or weighed down with worry because you don't know how you're going to pay your bills right now, I want you to do something with me. Take a deep breath. You've come to the right place. We're going to walk you through how to get your bills under control and your financial house in order.
These are incredibly stressful times. The coronavirus pandemic has made things that were tight before even tighter. So you're not alone and you're not stuck. We know what it is like to be unable to pay your bills. And while it may feel impossible to change your situation, it's not. We're going to take you through 7 steps to financial freedom. We will get to the steps in just a second, but first there are 2 important things you must do. Stop the bleeding and build a better financial foundation.
You know, that's exactly right, Nicole. I'm glad you mentioned those 2 things. What do we mean by stopping the bleeding? If you often find yourself feeling like you can't pay your bills, you need to keep money from going out of your life. You need to slash your spending and boost your saving. If possible, you want to bring in money and do all you can to save it. If you have lost your job and have not applied for unemployment benefits, you want to do so now. If you're out of work because of COVID-19, there is money for you in the CARES Act, and there may be more coming in the HEROES Act. Congress has authorized money to help workers make it through these tough times we're living in. There is also mortgage and rent relief that may be available for you. If you have student loan debt, a number of provisions have been made to suspend payments for many people. We have written articles on all of those forms of relief and linked to them below, so please read them to get all the money and relief that's available for you. This is not a time to be too proud to take the help being offered. Besides, we'll all end up paying for it soon enough in higher taxes, I'm sure.
John's right. Now we're going to dive into ways to reduce the amount of money you're spending, which will help stop the bleeding. But another thing you need to do is build a better financial foundation. And that starts with having a wise money mindset, so you can avoid getting into this situation again down the road. Now, if coronavirus has put you in dire financial straits, consider it a wake-up call to get your financial house in order. If you've always lived paycheck to paycheck, this pandemic shows you just how dangerous that is. Build a better foundation by killing your debt, especially high-interest credit card debt. Then start saving money. We link to frugal living ideas below to help you get some good ideas on how to save money. Open a savings account. The amount doesn't matter. The act of saving does. Get into the habit of saving money by opening a savings account at a bank. Chime Bank is a great one. There are no minimum balance requirements, so you can start with $1 if that's all you have. When you connect it to a Chime Bank debit card, they will automatically round up all your purchases to the nearest dollar and put it in your savings account. Now, with that lengthy but important foundation out of the way, let's dive into 7 steps that you can take right now to pay your bills this month and avoid this situation in the future. The first step is to prioritize your bills.
Now, look at everything you spend money on each month and list those expenses in order of most important to least important. Knowing what bills you should pay first is actually our second step, focusing on your 4 walls. When you can't pay your bills, you need to focus on what you need to survive: food, utilities, shelter, and transportation. Most other items are luxuries that you can cut. This even includes paying anything towards debt. Take care of yourself and your family first. Don't let creditors or scammers or anyone else convince you otherwise. If the HEROES Act passes and a second round of stimulus checks are provided, you can use that money to cover these 4 important things. If you're not sure what the HEROES Act is, watch our video to find out what additional relief could be coming your way soon. After this, it's time for step 3, contacting your providers. When I was in debt after college, I ignored my providers. I didn't tell the credit card companies, the phone company, utilities, or anyone else that I was struggling to make ends meet. It made sense to me to do that. I was drowning and nobody knew it. I just stopped paying my bills. That meant lots of fees and penalties for me, and it angered those I was in debt to. By the time I finally did call them, they did not want to work with me.
That's so important, John. Don't keep providers in the dark. Contact them now and tell them what your situation is. They are far more willing to work with you if you talk to them than if you ignore them. So now that you have your list of bills with those 4 things at the top, we want you to go back and look at them. Go through them one by one. Contact all of the ones you can't pay this month. Then look for ways to spend less on the bills that you can. Phone, cable, internet, and insurance are all bills that you can spend less on if you search for a better deal. We list good options for affordable phone and streaming service providers below, so check those out. Also, call your providers. Ask them what promotions they're running or what they can do to lower your rate. Then look at your frivolous expenses. Are you eating out multiple times a week? Maybe you're splurging on internet purchases. Goodness knows it's easy to do. And buying things you don't need but want. Stop that spending immediately and learn to live on a bare bones budget. Then you're ready for step 4, finding ways to make more money. If you need money now, signing up with a delivery app service is a great way to get some. Postmates and DoorDash are 2 great ones to check out. Instacart is another good option. Food and shopping delivery services are booming right now as people are hesitant to go out during the pandemic. Take advantage of that by signing up for one of these services. All you need is a car, or in some cases a scooter, insurance, and a willingness to hustle. We have links to the best delivery app services below, so check those out. Or if you don't want to go out, or you can't because you're caring for children or some other reason, watch our video on ways to make money from home during COVID. In it, we share some really good ways that you can get good money now.
Another way to get the money you need to pay your bills now is to sell things you don't need. If you're like us, you likely have things laying around your house that are in good condition, but which you really don't use often or ever. You could have games, DVDs, workout equipment, kitchen appliances, electronics, furniture, or many other things that other people will buy. You know the old saying, one person's trash is another person's treasure. I'll never forget when we moved out of our first apartment we rented when we were married. We took some things to the dumpster, and no sooner had we finished up emptying our car did a minivan pull up. 4 people jumped out and fished our things out of the trash to use or sell. That really stuck with me. Instead of throwing or giving things away when you're needing money right away, try selling it. Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist are both terrific options to sell anything. BuyBackWorld is another terrific place to sell electronics online, and we link to it below, so check that out.
I remember that experience too, John. And this conversation reminds me actually that I have a stack of DVDs sitting on our washroom that I need to go sell. Let's move on to our 6th step. It is not something we typically recommend, but if you're desperate and you're committed to changing your money habits so you don't ever do it again, you can take money from your Roth IRA. We don't recommend this because your Roth is supposed to be there for you in retirement. But if you've tried all the other steps we've already mentioned and you are still short of what you need to survive this month, then you can take contributions tax-free.
That's right, Nicole. Anything you take shortchanges you for the future. So you should only do this if you are still looking at not being able to make your mortgage payment or rent, or putting food on the table and facing losing a place to live or eating. Now let's move on to our final step, consolidating your debt. If you have high interest debt, like credit card debt, and balances are just sitting there racking up fees and interest each month, you want to look at consolidating those balances from multiple accounts into one loan with a lower interest rate. SoFi is a good service to look at as they offer personal loans with rates under 6% and up to 16%. If you're paying 20% or more on your credit cards, consolidating with SoFi could save you money each month that you can use to cover your basic necessities.
I know we've given you a lot to think about today. If you're feeling overwhelmed, that's okay. Just take it one step at a time. Leave us your questions in the comments below, and if you haven't already, hit that red subscribe button so you can be notified of our new content.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on our next video.